With the All-Star break ending tomorrow, here's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for before play resumes. First forward, Andrew Wiggins of the Miami Heat. So Wiggins, he was having a decent season with the Golden State Warriors, and obviously it was tough for them to see him go, but obviously to get someone, you got to trade something, and they got Jimmy Butler now over there in Golden State. So on the year for Wiggins, 17.3 points a game, 4.6 boards, 2.4 assists, 2.2 threes, and 43% from the field. But the last couple weeks, he struggled. These Wiggins, 12 a game, 4.5 boards, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 1.5 threes, and 29% from the field. So this Miami Heat team, obviously they want to make one last playoff push that the Jimmy Butler saga is done. They traded him away. Obviously, Butler didn't want to be there. And in the first 2 games as a Heat player, February 10th versus Boston, 11 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, a steal, a block, 2 threes, 25% from the field. February 12th at the Thunder, 13 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a block, a steal, a 3, 33% from the field. And February 13th, he missed that ball game, was Andrew Wiggins with an illness. So obviously he's going to be back, ready to go after the break. They're back in Toronto February 21st. On Friday is this Miami Heat team. And Andrew Wiggins, like I said, he was a good player this season for the Golden State Warriors. He could do a little bit of everything. I know it's going to take time to acclimate a little bit over there in Miami, but to have, 8-9 days off, get into the playbook more, get your body rested during the All-Star break, where obviously he wasn't an All-Star. I think Wiggins, he could come out second half and pay big dividends for this Heat team and fantasy owners. And right now, I don't think you have to give up much to get him in a deal with Wiggins. It's a perfect buy low. Forward Cameron Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets. So Cameron Johnson, he's been healthy now for the last few games here before the All-Star break. And Johnson, there was rumors he might have got traded at the NBA trade deadline, but obviously that didn't happen. On the year, 19.1 points a game, 4.2 boards, 2.9 assists, 3.1 threes, and 48% from the field. The last couple weeks, since the return, the numbers dropped a bit, 16.3 a game, 5 boards, 2.8 assists, 2.3 threes, and 45% from the field. So Cameron Johnson, like I said, now that he's back for this Brooklyn Net team, and he got another week and change to rest here to get almost 100%, I think second half he could take off and put up numbers. You're still going to give up a decent price for Johnson, but like I said, he's on a Brooklyn Net team that's obviously 11th, 12th seed right now in the Eastern Conference. A lot of people, they're not familiar with Cameron Johnson if they're casual fantasy basketball players, and I think you could get him in a deal and he could help down the stretch here for fantasy owners. February 7th versus the Heat, 18 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, a block, 3 threes, 50% from the field. February 10th versus the Hornets, 14 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, a block, 2 threes, 55% from the field. And February 12th versus the Sixers, 16 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, a 3, 42% from the field. To 3-point shooting, Johnson's going to bring, obviously that's one of his specialties, scoring the basketball, and I believe he's a good rebounder of the basketball as well. And now with those trade rumors gone for now until the offseason, I think Johnson, he could focus more, just get into his game a little bit more like we saw early in the season where he had some big games. And I believe he could be a nice down the stretch ad for fantasy owners where he could help win a championship for them. And the third and final forward I look to buy and trade for is his former teammate Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks. And Mikal Bridges, in his first season with the Knicks, for the most part, I thought he's been successful. His numbers were going to drop playing with Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. And on the year, field goal percentage is up, but his points per game are down too for Mikal Bridges, with his rebounds per game down 1.4. So on the year, 17.7 points a game, 3.1 boards, 3.3 assists, a steal, 2.3 threes, and 49% from the field. But the last couple weeks before the break, he definitely struggled and got into a slump. 9.3 points a game, 3.7 boards, 3.7 assists, a steal, 43% from the field. So Mikal Bridges, we know he's a good scorer of the basketball. We know he does a lot of the intangibles and a good defensive play. And right now, like I said, a lot of good players on this New York Knicks team, where some games he's not going to get it going as Bridges. February 8th versus the Celtics, 11 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, a steal, a 3, 33% from the field. February 11th at the Pacers, 6 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 42% from the field. And February 12th versus the Hawks, 11 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, a 3, 62% from the field. So like I said, his points are down over the last few games, but he still can bring rebounding, assisting in the basketball. I think there's going to be games where he's going to go off and get those points back up a little bit. So right now, he's slumping a little bit, especially scoring the basketball, and they got some big matchups coming up at Cleveland and Boston in the next couple games here is the New York Knicks. Mikal Bridges, I think, is a good buy this week. So that's a few forwards I look to buy during the All-Star break as it ends here tomorrow for the fantasy basketball season.